Jehuty here, and I'm finishing off of the Season 4 changes for the Season 3 characters, and that's why we have now Ganryu. First off, he has two new moves, and the first move is while rising 1, 2, 3+4. So you can just execute 1, 2, and then you can decide to go into Tai Chi stance by pressing 3, 4. This move comes out at 13 frames, and it leaves Ganryu at +6 on hit, and on block it leaves him at -14. So you'd want to be using this as a 13 frame while rising Punisher. What you'd also need to know is that there used to be a move which had the same notation, so while rising 1, 2, and it's no longer in the game, and it's been replaced by this move. Whilst we're talking already about the Tai Chi stance, he has another new move out of the stance. By the way, you can press 1+4 to go manually into the stance, so just so that you know. So the new move is Tai Chi stance, forward 2, and it's a launcher. Even though the animation on hit looks a bit strange, comes out at 18 frames. And yeah, it's definitely a good addition. However, it is -15 on block, so you'd want to use it with a bit of thought, since most of the cast can launch punish it. So now we want to have a look at the moves pre-Season 4, how they've changed in Season 4. And we're staying with Tai Chi stance. I hope I'm not butchering that name too much. And what's happened here is we have the move Tai Chi stance, 1+2. And what's happened with this move is that they've changed the startup frames. It used to be a 26 frame move, and it's now 23, so that's a buff. It'll come out quicker, definitely a buff. And we'll continue with the changes with 2, 1, 2. And what's happened here is that it's been nerfed on blocks, particularly the third hit, the last hit. So it used to be -11, it's now -13 on block. So what you need to know is that you may be eating bigger punishes now. Let's continue further. We have back 2, not the springs or something, just back 2. And what's happened here is just the first back 2 changed the frame advantage when blocked from -18 frames to -14 frames, so that's a buff. It's going to be much safer to just put out that move. Next up we have down 2. And what's happened here is that they've decreased the distance between the character and the opponent when the move hits. So it's a launcher, and what's going to happen now is that it's going to be more consistent to combo off of it directly after executing it, so that's a buff. Next move we're looking at is down forward 2+3, and what's happened with this move is that it's received a damage buff. It just used to do 20, it now does 23 damage, so that's a nice buff. Next up is down back 2, and what's now changed with this move is that you can cancel it into Tai Chi stance, right? So after pressing down back 2, you can transition into the Tai Chi stance by pressing 3+4. So that's a nice little change, nice little buff for mix-ups. And then we have up forward 1. And what's happened with this move is increase the lower range of the attack. So it's been buffed. After all, it's slow crushing. It doesn't have a lot of distance, but yeah, it's a little buff. Next in line is up forward 2. So what's changed here is that you can now transition into Tai Chi stance from it. So before you couldn't, now you have more mix-up possibilities. So that's a nice addition for him. Then we have up forward 1+2. What's changed with this move is that they've increased the lower range of the attack, so most likely it has low crushing properties, and with this it's now more consistent, so that's a nice buff. By the way, you can also go into Tai Chi stance out of this move by pressing 3, 4, just so that you know. And next up we have back forward 2. So this command no longer works, it's been changed. The new command is back forward 2+3. And what happens now if you press back forward 2 is you get the forward 2 move. So I'm not quite sure why that was changed, but yeah, it's been changed. And then we have back quarter circle, down forward 2. I'm not sure if I'm giving it the right notation, but the move is being displayed up there, so you know what I'm talking about. And it's had a damage change. It used to do 45 damage, and now it does 35 damage, so that's a nerf for Ganryu. And then we have the last move, and that is Wild Rising 2. And what's happened here is they've increased the lower range of the attack, so I think that has to do with more consistency. Kind of a theme for Season 4. And yeah, definitely a little buff. Ganryu players welcome it. I think for the most part, Ganryu has been buffed. That's about it for the video. I hope you guys didn't mind me butchering the pronunciation of Tachiai stance too much. I'm very sorry. Gomenasai, gomenasai, gomenasai. If you liked what you saw, leave a like, comment. Really need that feedback. And of course, consider subscribing because that helps me out the most. Anyway, look into the channel. I have more videos over there and more are definitely coming. So then, I'll see you on the next one. Jehuty out.